Today, my husband Tom and I attended my nephew Kyle's birthday party at my sister-in-law Julia's house. When it was time to eat, Julia served takeout sushi to everyone except me. Confused, I hesitated. Then Julia said something shocking. "We didn't invite anyone who's not family, so don't just show up uninvited." Tom's face turned red with anger. Without saying a word, he grabbed my hand and we stormed out of the house. As we walked away, something unexpected happened to Julia's family, and she collapsed to her knees. "My name is Lisa James and I'm 33 years old. I used to work as a nurse, which is how I met my husband Tom, who is also a nurse." Tom's gentle and selfless nature drew me to him, and I was the one who gathered the courage to ask him out for dinner. To my delight, he said yes. After a few dates, our connection grew stronger and we naturally began a relationship. One memorable evening, while enjoying a candlelit dinner at a restaurant with a stunning night view, Tom pulled out a small velvet box and proposed. Overwhelmed with happiness, I said yes, and soon we became husband and wife. After our marriage, I decided to leave my job to support Tom, who worked long hospital shifts. I embraced the role of a stay-at-home wife. "Lisa, your cooking is the best," Tom would often say, praising my meals as we shared housework duties. He truly is a wonderful husband. When Tom's father passed away, it deeply affected the family. His mother, Mary, became lonely. Mary had always treated me like her own daughter, and I grew to love her dearly. Having been raised only by my father after my parents divorced when I was a baby, I never knew a mother's love. Spending time with Mary gave me a glimpse of what that might have been like. To ease her loneliness, I suggested to Tom that we invite Mary to live with us. But Julia strongly opposed. "I can't let Mom live in a house with strangers," she declared, referring to me. Though her words stung, I held back. Eventually, Julia moved Mary into her own home, insisting, "I know Mom best, so leave her to me." Yet Mary's uneasy expression whenever we spoke told me otherwise. So I began visiting her regularly. She was often left alone during the day while Julia and her husband worked and Kyle was at daycare. Each visit, Mary greeted me warmly. "Thank you, Lisa. Your visits brighten my days," she'd say. Our conversations became the highlight of my week. But one day when I rang the doorbell, Julia answered. Her cold gaze made me pause. "What do you want?" she snapped. "I just wanted to see Mary," I replied hesitantly. Julia scoffed. "You're not family. She has nothing to say to you." She began to shut the door, but Mary appeared behind her. "Lisa, I've got some sweets to share." "Come in," Mary said, inviting me inside despite Julia's irritation. Before leaving for work, Julia reminded Mary sternly, "Don't forget to be careful with Kyle's food allergies. I'll be back this evening." Once Julia was gone, Mary sighed. "I'm so sorry about Julia. She can be difficult." "It's okay," I reassured her, though I was concerned. "Mary, are you managing everything here on your own?" She looked weary. "Yes. Julia says she's busy with work and leaves everything to me, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of Kyle. It's exhausting." It was clear Julia treated her mother more like a maid than family. Feeling sympathy, I decided to help whenever I could. When I told Tom, he frowned. "Julia has always been bossy even when we were kids. But treating Mom like this? It's too much." One evening, while Tom and I were watching TV, Mary called with a surprising request. "Lisa, there's a parent observation day at Kyle's daycare tomorrow. Everyone else's mom is attending and I think Kyle will feel left out if I go. Could you come instead?" I hesitated. "Isn't Julia going?" Mary sighed. She said she can't take time off work. I don't know what she's thinking. It's such an important day for Kyle. "I understand, Mary. I'll go with you," I said. She sounded relieved, her voice light with happiness as she ended the call. The next morning, I arrived at Julia's house. On the way, I picked up snacks I thought Kyle might enjoy. Mary greeted me warmly. "Thank you so much for doing this." At the daycare, Kyle spotted us and waved enthusiastically. His angelic smile made my heart melt. On the way home, he ran up to me and exclaimed, "Lisa, I'm so happy you came. Let's play a lot when we get back." I smiled at his excitement. "Of course, we'll think of something fun." Mary beamed. "See? I told you he adores you." Later that evening, Kyle tugged at my sleeve. "Lisa, can you make me a hamburger? A big one." I checked the fridge and whipped one up, carefully avoiding eggs because of his allergy. I even drew a happy face on it with ketchup. Kyle squealed with delight. Eat up, Kyle. Enjoy. Thank you, Lisa. Let's play again soon, he said with a grin. As Mary walked me to the door, Kyle looked sad, waving goodbye. Just then the front door opened. I'm home, a calm voice called out. It was Julia's husband, Jack. Quiet and reserved, he was the complete opposite of Julia. In all the time I'd known him, we had exchanged only a few words. I'm sorry for staying so late, I said softly. I'll be leaving now. Don't apologize, Jack said kindly. Honestly, this should be my wife's responsibility, but thank you for helping out. Kyle looked so happy. I had so much fun with Lisa today. Kyle chimed in, smiling. Jack returned his son's smile. That's good to hear. As I moved toward the door, Julia suddenly appeared. Her sharp eyes landed on me. What are you doing here again? She demanded, her voice cold. I asked Lisa to come today, Mary interjected. She even went to Kyle's daycare observation and made him this hamburger. But Julia's anger didn't subside. She picked up the plate with the hamburger I had made and, before anyone could react, she threw it straight into the trash. The room went silent. Even Kyle looked shocked. Jack quickly opened the trash can and retrieved the plate. What are you doing, Julia? Lisa worked hard to make this. His voice trembled with anger. Julia snapped back. Don't talk to me like that. I earn just as much as you, if not more. Show some respect. Jack fell silent, his shoulders slumping in defeat. Her domineering attitude clearly weighed heavily on him. Feeling overwhelmed, I quickly apologized. I'm sorry for overstepping. I'll leave now. Julia glared at me. Stay out of my kitchen next time, or you'll regret it. Fighting back tears, I hurried out of the house. On the way home, I couldn't stop crying. All I had wanted was to help, but my efforts only seemed to anger Julia further. Why did everything go wrong whenever I tried to do the right thing? When I got home, the lights were already on. Tom had returned from work and was preparing dinner. Seeing my tear-streaked face, he rushed over. Lisa, what happened? He asked, concerned. I told him everything. His face turned red with anger. Julia again? I'm calling her right now. He grabbed his phone. No, please don't, I said quickly. I don't want things to get worse. Tom sighed and put the phone down. Pulling me into a hug, he whispered, I'm always on your side, Lisa. No matter what. In that moment, I felt so grateful to have him in my life. For a while, I avoided Julia's house, afraid of another confrontation. But one day my phone rang. To my surprise, Julia's name appeared on the screen. Hesitantly, I answered. Next week is Kyle's birthday. We're having a party, so make sure Tom comes, Julia said curtly. Before I could respond, she added, and don't forget the birthday present. Then she hung up. I stood there in disbelief. After everything, Julia was now inviting us to Kyle's party? When I told Tom, his expression darkened. There's something going on. Maybe. But it's for Kyle, I replied. We should go. At the party, Kyle excitedly showed Julia the gift. Look, Mom, he exclaimed, holding it up with bright eyes. Julia scoffed. What a cheap-looking toy. Her words cut through the moment like a knife. I froze, unable to respond. You two don't even have kids, so you must have plenty of money. You could have gotten Kyle something better, she added, her voice dripping with disdain. Tom opened his mouth as if to argue, but even he seemed too stunned to speak. This is what I wanted. Kyle shouted, clutching the gift tightly. Don't be mean to Lisa. His innocent words struck a nerve. Julia's face twisted with anger. If you love Lisa so much, why don't you become her kid? She snapped, her voice sharp and venomous. Kyle's lips trembled as tears streamed down his cheeks. Jack silently stepped in, scooping his son into his arms and whispering comfort. I watched in disbelief, my heart breaking for the little boy. Then the doorbell rang. Lisa, the sushi delivery is here. Did you get it? Julia asked nonchalantly. Sure, I replied, needing an excuse to step away from the tension. At the door, the delivery man handed me the order. 5 sets. 1 kid's sushi set and 4 adult sets. Puzzled, I asked Julia, weren't there supposed to be 6 sets? There are only 4 adult ones. That's correct, she said flatly, paying the man. Her dismissive tone unsettled me, but I didn't press the issue. When we sat down to eat, I noticed something stranger still. There wasn't a chair for me. Tom stood ready to offer his seat, but Julia intervened. Lisa, that's Tom's seat. Yours is over there, she said, pointing to a small side table in the corner. Our dining table is small, so not everyone can sit here. Sorry, she added with mock apology. Though hurt, I stayed quiet and sat where she indicated. When the food was served, Mary brought over my portion. But something was missing. Lisa doesn't have any sushi, Mary pointed out, frowning. We didn't order for anyone who isn't family, Julia said with a cruel laugh. Her words were a dagger to my heart, confirming what I had long suspected. She didn't see me as family. Tom's anger boiled over. That's enough, Julia. Lisa, we're leaving. He grabbed my hand and I didn't look back as we walked out, tears streaming down my face. Back home, Tom pulled me into his arms. I'm sorry for what she said, he murmured. His unwavering support was my only solace. That night, Mary called with shocking news. Julia got food poisoning from the sushi and had to go to the hospital, she said. Are Jack and Kyle okay? I asked quickly. Yes. They ate the sushi too, but only Julia got sick, Mary replied. Kyle was worried about you, Lisa. Tom, overhearing, muttered under his breath, Karma. 3 days later, Julia appeared at our doorstep with Jack and Mary. She stormed in without invitation. How dare you live here in this tiny house, she sneered. Still shocked, I asked, what brings you here? Her expression darkened. You poisoned the sushi, didn't you? I'll sue you for damages. Her baseless accusations drained the strength from my body. I didn't do anything, I just accepted the delivery, I said, trying to stay calm. That's enough. Mary's voice thundered. She defended me, and then exposed Julia's secret affair with photographic proof. Jack's face went pale as he stared at the evidence. After a heated argument, he declared he was filing for divorce and left with Kyle. Mary announced she would sell the family home and sever ties with Julia completely. 6 months later, Julia and Jack's divorce was finalized. Kyle stayed with his father while Julia moved into a small apartment. Her attempts to reconcile with Mary were met with silence. She had burned too many bridges. Meanwhile, Tom and I began a new chapter. One evening, as we celebrated our move into a new home, I shared the news with Mary. By winter, there will be 2 grandchildren. Her face lit up with joy. Lisa, are you? Yes, I confirmed with a smile. I'm 3 months pregnant. As Mary cried tears of happiness, I felt hope and peace for the future. For the first time in a long while, everything felt right.